Today's mindful moment.
Imagine stepping off a train. Totally normal, right? And suddenly you're not just somewhere else, you're in a completely different world. A world that you thought you knew, but it's like it's been, well, ripped apart and put back together wrong while you were gone.
That feeling of disorientation, of utter bewilderment, that's what we're going to explore today. We've got these passages from the start of Prince Caspian, the moment the Pevensey kids get yanked back into Narnia. And let me tell you, it is not the welcoming return they might have hoped for.
Yeah, it's definitely not the happy homecoming you might expect. I mean, they were kings and queens there, for goodness sakes. And from what you shared with us, it sounds like they're walking into a Narnia that's almost hostile, like it's forgotten them.
It's more than just forgotten. There's this sense of loss, of things being broken. But it's also in the way Lewis describes their arrival. It's not a gentle transition, not a magical wardrobe this time.
Right, no wardrobe.
Yeah.
So how do they even get back to Narnia? What's the feeling?
It's a pulling. This forceful, almost physical dragging. Both Edmund and Lucy mention it. This feeling of being pulled against their will.
Wow, that's intense. So it's not like they had any choice in the matter. Just boom, there you are.
Exactly.
Mhm.
1 minute they're at a train station, surrounded by the noise and grime of England. The next, they're sprawled on a beach with the sun beating down and the sea stretching out in front of them.
Well, at least it's a beach. Could be worse, right? I mean, sand between your toes, the smell of salt air. That's got to be better than a crowded train platform.
Oh, absolutely. Peter even says this is good enough, and you can almost hear the relief in his voice. But there's a sense, too, that he's trying to convince himself, like he's already seeing that things aren't quite right.
Interesting. So even in that first moment of arrival, there are already these hints that something's off, that the Narnia they remember is gone.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Despite the shock, their first instinct is pure childhood curiosity. They start exploring the beach, splashing in the water. Edmund even thinks about how this is way better than schoolwork.
Well, yeah, who wouldn't prefer a beach to school? So that spark of adventure, that joy in just being in Narnia, it's still there.
It is. And it's almost heartbreaking because it reminds you of the Narnia they knew, the place where they were free and powerful. It contrasts so sharply with what they're about to discover.
Okay, so what happens next? When does the real trouble start?
I think the first hint that things are really different comes with the missing luggage.
Hmm.
Lucy and Susan's bags are just gone, vanished.
Wait, so their stuff just disappears? Poof.
Oof. But Peter, he's still got his sandwiches. It's this little detail that really brings it home. Like, even in this magical world, basic needs still matter.
Yeah, that's a good point. It sort of grounds the whole thing, makes it feel more real. It's not all magic and adventure. There are still practical concerns.
Absolutely. And those practical concerns start to build as they walk along the shore. They've got this incredible sea view on one side, but on the other, there are these woods, dense, silent, almost impenetrable.
Kind of ominous, those woods, like something's lurking just out of sight.
That's exactly the feeling Lewis creates. This isn't the welcoming forest they remember. This is Narnia holding its breath, hiding its secrets.
So they're walking along this path between the sea and the woods, and what? Do they start to realize just how much things have changed?
Oh, yeah. The initial excitement wears off, They get thirsty, their feet hurt, they start to feel the weight of those heavy coats. It's like the reality of their situation is starting to sink in.
Okay, but they're kings and queens, right? They ruled this place. Can't they just, magic up some food and a place to rest?
That's the thing, isn't it? This Narnia doesn't seem to respond to them the way it used to. There's no easy aid, no magical solutions. They're vulnerable in a way they haven't been before.
That's got to be a shock, realizing that the world you thought you knew doesn't work the way it used to.
Right. And then comes the big revelation. They reach a bend in the coastline and realize they're on an island. Edmund's reaction says it all. Oh, bother. We shan't be able to get to those other woods at all. We're on an island.
Stuck! Cut off! So much for exploring.
Exactly. And that sense of being trapped, it just adds to their growing unease. It's clear this isn't the Narnia they thought they were coming back to.
So what do? They're hungry, thirsty, and stranded on an island.
They decide to try their luck in the woods. Figure maybe they can find some shelter, some food. But remember, this isn't the Narnia where they used to feast with fawns and befriend talking animals. This is a different place, a harsher place.
And they're not kings and queens anymore. Not really. They're just kids lost in the woods.
Right. And as they struggle through the undergrowth, you really feel their vulnerability. They're starting to realize just how much they've lost.
So it's getting dark. They're lost, probably scared.
And then Lucy sees something. A tiny point of light flickering in the distance. She's drawn to it, almost like a moth to a flame. And when they get closer,
What is it? Some kind of magical beacon?
not quite. It's a well. But that's not the important part. As Lucy peers into the well, she catches a glint of something in the firelight. A small, bright object.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat here. What's the object?
It's a chess piece. A gold knight, heavy in her hand, missing a ruby eye.
A chess piece. Seriously. That's it.
But not just any chess piece. Lucy immediately recognizes it. It's exactly like one of the golden chessmen we used to play with when we were kings and queens at Cair Paravel.
Paravel, their castle, that's where they ruled Narnia from.
Exactly. And for Susan, the memories come sliding back, the lovely times, the joy of their reign. It's all tied up in this one little object.
Wow, talk about a powerful symbol. This tiny chess piece suddenly becomes this huge reminder of everything they've lost.
And that's when things start to click into place. Peter sees the chess piece, hears Lucy's description of the well, and suddenly he gets this look on his face. He says, "Start using our brains." And then almost accusingly, "Have none of you guessed where we are?"
So he's figured it out. He knows where they are.
He does. He lays it all out, piece by piece. The shape of the hall they found the well in, the location of the well itself, the chess piece, even this faint memory of planting an orchard outside the north gate. It all points to one place.
And Lucy remembers the orchard too, right? So it all fits. But how can their castle be in ruins? They were just there, weren't they?
That's Edmund's point exactly. He's looking around at these overgrown walls, these crumbling stones, and he says, this must have been Cair Paravel, but how could it have all gone to pieces in a year?
Yeah, a year. They've only been gone from Narnia for a year. What happened?
And that's where Edmund comes up with this incredibly important realization. He says, but I've been thinking, haven't you all noticed how different time goes in Narnia?
Different time? What does he mean?
He means that time in Narnia doesn't move at the same pace as it does in England. That hundreds of years could have passed in Narnia while only a year went by for them back home.
Whoa, that is mind-blowing. So they haven't been gone for a year, they've been gone for centuries, and Narnia has just moved on without them.
Exactly. It's a concept we often dive into on Mindful Moments and our podcasts, examining how authors use the idea of different timelines to add depth and complexity to their stories.
So they're standing in the ruins of their own castle, realizing that their past, their reign, it's ancient history. That's got to be heavy.
Heavy doesn't even begin to describe it.
Yeah.
And it gets worse. As they explore the treasure chamber, they find all these relics from their past. Their coronation rings, Peter's old armor, Susan's lost brooch.
It's like their whole past is laid out before them, but they can't go back.
And then comes the gut punch. They realize something's missing. Susan's magic horn. The horn that could summon help from anywhere in Narnia. Gone.
Talk about a bad time to lose your magical emergency beacon.
Right. It really drives home their vulnerability. They're not the all-powerful rulers they once were. They're back to being just kids, facing an unknown future in a world that no longer recognizes them.
But wait, didn't they find some of their other stuff, like weapons and armor? Surely that's got to be helpful.
Yeah, there's a glimmer of hope amidst the loss. Susan finds her bow, and amazingly, the string is still good. It's like the magic of the treasure chamber has preserved it. And when she plucks the string, the sound brings back all these memories of battles and hunts and grand feasts.
Muscle memory kicking in, the queen regaining her skills.
Exactly. And Peter, he finds his old shield, the one with the red lion, Aslan's symbol. It's like a reminder of their past strength, a symbol of hope in the face of all this uncertainty.
So yeah, they've lost a lot, but they've also found some things, pieces of their past that might help them in the present.
And maybe more importantly, they've started to understand what's happened. They've come to terms with the fact that time moves differently in Narnia, that their past isn't something they can just step back into.
So their return isn't just about reclaiming what was lost, it's about navigating a new reality, a Narnia that's both familiar and utterly alien.
It's a journey of rediscovery, a quest to understand what's happened to their beloved kingdom and what role, if any, they have to play in its future.
So much to unpack there. If this exploration of the Pevensies' return to Narnia has you hooked, we urge you to dive into Prince Caspian yourself. You can find a link to purchase the book in the show notes. As you read, think about those moments of disorientation, those clashes between memory and reality. What challenges do you think await the Pevensies in this changed Narnia? And what lessons can we learn from their experience about the passage of time, the nature of change, and the enduring power of hope? Share this with others who love exploring complex worlds, and don't forget to subscribe. Think critically.